What industries do you think are hiring the most right now?
Technology. So technology took a dive during COVID and has now resurfaced the AI. Anybody that understands AI is going to do really, really well. I would say we're in the, if I was to relate it to the older generation, we are in the Commodore 64 era of relatability. So we have, does that make sense?
Oh my god.
But that's what AI is.
That makes me scared a little bit.
Yeah, but if you think about it, like, it's so early in that stage and look at everything that it's doing. So if you can understand and move and work with that, I think you're going to do really, really well. I was reading an article recently and it was talking about all of the jobs that AI is going to replace. And so you just need to stay savvy and kind of, if you could go into that engineering, that, something in that realm.
My prediction is governance. It's like the EU just passed all of their AI governance laws. And I think there's a lot of other countries / industries that will actually start doing that as well.
Yep.
And I think the really interesting thing right now is also an education child who is in university. And he's actually allowed to use AI in his courses now. They just have to cite it.
Really?
So think of how that actually is going to translate into job industries later on, because now I think that a lot of what's going to happen is that, yes, AI will be used as a tool in the industries, but where projects are going to be way tighter deadlines and will have to come along a lot faster.
AI still makes mistakes. Like, it's not perfect, and you need to be able to review it and understand it, but that kind of scares me going back that you can use it in your
school.
Because they're already taking away from education. You need to learn and to retain stuff. Most people have to write it and read it, and how is that going to help the brain mass, I wonder?
I think that, so I actually had this conversation with said child. Critical thinking is actually taught still in school, in elementary school, all throughout high school for Canadian education, just an FYI. I apologize to our American friends. And so is media.
That's another podcast.
Yes, that is another podcast. But so is media literacy. So these are all, they have to be able to learn how to critically think before they get into university. And also they have to learn how to navigate through what is on the internet as real or not real. So I think that is going to be more, I think that has to be elaborated on in their younger years, because they have access to so much more information at a younger age, and also just so much more media.
My 5-year-old knows how to control my phone better than I do, and the iPad. No, mommy, you do this. She knows how to do it. But it scares me because all of the videos and stuff that they see are like short videos, and then that affects your brain. So I'm concerned about what the impact it's going to have long term. And the education system, I'm a little concerned about myself, just watching what some of these kids are learning. I have a child in grade 9 now, and the amount of homework she has is nothing. No exams. They don't have exams to attend, so I don't know.
No exams in high school, really?
No exams.
Wow.
They're culminating tasks.
Oh.
I'm like, do you have homework? No, we did it all in class.
Well, it's good for them learning a work-life balance, I suppose, though. Because then they don't have that innate, like, I've got to go home and still finish work.
But that's destroying the workforce.
I could argue that that is actually what's helping the workforce currently, is that they have ample time for both living and working. But
it's different. Our generation, your boss would call you, you would go to work.
All hours of the day.
All hours of the day. You had multiple hats that you wore. Your boss would say jump, and you would levitate. Kids now are like, why?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Why should I do that? There's almost no respect for that power and that level, if you will. So I see that a lot with some of the younger generation and the candidates, like that entitlement. And mind you, I also see on the other side that these quote-unquote kids or younger generation, younger workforce, are actually jumping from job to job, learning skills. They're interviewing for jobs, setting their salary expectation way higher than we ever had the courage to ask for. And they're getting it. They're moving, they're jumping every year and a half, and they're getting that $20,000, $10,000, $30,000 merit increase. And it's changed because we, as you said earlier, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, I'll take the 50-cent raise.
Yeah. I was with my first company that I ever worked for 14 years.
And you probably worked like a dog.
I worked my way all the way up, literally through every single position I could possibly, until I was in a management position, and then worked my way through all the management positions until I was in a corporate head office setting, and then I realized, oh wait, I could probably get better merit increases if I just switch companies.
Value, right? Yeah, everyone gets kind of comfortable. I don't want to say complacent, but you get to that comfort zone. What would you do different?
I think I would navigate my career a little bit differently. I never knew what trajectory I wanted to pursue or what I like. I knew that I loved the industry that I was in. I didn't know what parts I liked about it just because I didn't sit with myself enough. Being in hospitality is very consuming, so you're always addressing all the fires that are going on around you instead of look inward and think about how you want your actual career to plan. And then having that, trying to move up in your career at the same time that you are raising family is also not talked about. So even thinking about yourself and trying to figure out, oh, wait a second, I need to actually plan out my career trajectory and what I actually want to do in the next 5 years. Which is funny because I used to tell all of my managers, it would come to PDP time, hey, tell me about, you need to write down your goals for the next 5 years, and then we're going to put together a plan about what it is that you're going to do in order for you to get to those goals. Never did it for myself in a bigger scale, as in, oh, you want to be able to do this with my kids, I want to be able to go on that vacation, but it was never about oh, I want my career to look like this.
You didn't scale your own career, you just help people achieve theirs. But you still climbed as you were doing it, but you probably could have done it a little bit faster.
I could have done it a lot faster, a lot less heartbreaking. Probably not as worked as many hours, but it's all part of, I think, my learning experience. I don't think I would have gotten as good in my role or know how to teach it as well if I wasn't in it for so long.
Fair. Did you find it a challenge to be going to work when everybody was going out to play?
All the time.
Yeah.
But also watching was a lot funnier than being in it. So
fair. Because St. Patrick's Day?
Because being in hospitality, you get to watch everybody play instead. So just watching people get to the other side of play where it's about to be a bad scene is hilarious. So many stories about that, but and not having to partake in it is also really great when you have to wake up the next morning and not have any drama related to you. But you've seen everything that happened the night before.
You're there.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then doing emergency management.
So we got a little off topic there.
We did, but we always do. What's question number 2?
Question number 2. How has remote and hybrid work impacted job seekers?
Oh God. How hasn't it? I think partial that has a lot to do with why we're having such a hard time in hospitality to get people to come in and want to work in an actual bricks and mortar building and have to commute to work, have to be in person, connected to the shift, dealing with people, and you have to actually find people who actually like doing all those things now, whereas before people just had to show up for work. May not like any of those social aspects of going to work, but would have to come anyways because that was the only way that they could do it. They could make a living.
Yep. I feel personally, working in the recruitment industry and seeing the change that, I hate to say COVID, had on the workforce and specifically hospitality. Mm-hmm. I find, after speaking to so many people, a lot of the senior talented players left hospitality and went adjacent. So they moved into retail, or they moved into some other kind of service facing or guest service facing, but not the hospitality. And I would say majority of them did not come back after after COVID. And COVID operators, owners had to think quick, and they ended up developing talent. So they developed some of those junior talents in the early days of COVID, and now those people are now seasoned. It's been 4 or 5 years. You've got some strong talent, and the benches definitely are increasing now. But I see that was one challenge I saw in hospitality. It also gave people a sense of, I don't want to say entitlement, but it gave them the I don't want to go to work. I can have my own online business and I can breed tree branches and sell them online, and I'm going to make money and I'm going to stay home and be with my kids. So a lot of that has changed. I have seen, as you've probably seen in the recruitment industry, businesses are starting to take back control, because for a long time it was a candidate market and the candidates could dictate, I want to work from home, I want hybrid, I want cake and ice cream and everything. But now there's a lot more people back in the job force because a lot of those small businesses are failing. A lot of the whatever they created for themselves is not necessarily working, so they have to go back to the workforce. So I'm seeing that it's now like the pendulum swinging back into the hiring manager's corner.
I think that work from home for me was really hard because of the fact that my kids were also home doing school from home.
Yep.
So you got a break, and trying to navigate work from home in an environment where your children are also there was really difficult. So I actually welcomed being in the office because of the fact that it can actually get work done.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that people who enjoyed working from home never liked going to work to begin with, I feel. Potentially. Or just don't even like the commute. I think they wanted to live a specific lifestyle.
Yep.
And whatever role that they landed just didn't fit in with that lifestyle anymore. So I think there's a lot of inward reflection that you have to do as to what it is that's really important for yourself. As far as it's just it's navigating the whole package of your role. What kind of environment do you actually thrive in to work in? I really enjoyed working in restaurants, in operations, because of the fact that I liked seeing different things every single day and having it not be monotonous. And for me, work from home would be detrimental to an extent if it was done the same tasks every single day.